Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown,
the unofficial sumo podcast
for official sumo fans.
Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown. This is Jake.
and this is Mac.
And today we are joined by World Games lightweight qualifier, Elizabeth Salazar. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty solid.
Enjoying a break from the heat at this point. It is no longer in the triple-digit heat index. It's down to the upper 90s.
Oh,
That's something
good.
to celebrate. That's
For us, it is.
yeah. It's been a rough one so far.
Yeah. What? How hot is it today in San Antonio?
It's only like 98 today, so it's almost a cold front.
I feel bad for complaining at this point.
Yeah, that's when the San Antonians. That's the right. You grab your parkas right when it gets under 100.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Well, we are recording this a little bit early, but we will be releasing this very close to the World Games, so we definitely wanted to bring that up. But before we get to the World Games in general, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into this weird niche sport?
This wonderful niche sport. Not weird, wonderful.
It's both. It's
okay,
both,
fine.
But
Weird and wonderful.
you're right.
It's definitely niche. I mean, if you had told me a few years ago that I'd be headed to the World Games, like doing sumo, I would have been like, "You're insane." But no, I've been studying martial arts for. I joined the game kind of late, so about 6 years. I've been training in kung fu, and I was obsessed with it. I went really far, and then a couple years ago, my kung fu teacher said he was retiring, and so Caleb is one of my best friends in the whole world. Everyone who watches y'all knows Caleb. And, he kept telling me, he kept saying, "Come try sumo," and I had the reaction most lightweight girls probably do, like that. What are you talking about? I went just on a whim one day. I'd really been missing just like the interaction. I've trained by myself, of course, but it's not the same. And so I just went, and it's awesome. Anyone who gives it a shot just sees that it's so fun. The community is amazing. There's nothing like the sumo community.
Did you square off against Caleb right away? Did you go against Jessica? Or was it Ketzel? Who was your first opponent?
My very first practice with Mighty Eagle was kind of funny, actually, because I definitely got in the ring with Caleb, and that was fun. But I got in with Jessica, and I was kind of like, I was kind of proud of myself because, knowing she's a black belt, I didn't get immediately demolished. So we went for a long time, but then I was so stubborn about not getting pushed out that I held my ground and ended up running over my own toe and like breaking my toe on my very first sumo practice. And so that took me out of it for, a few weeks or whatever. And then I was like hooked from that point, and I came back as soon as I could. But it was definitely a memorable first practice.
That's tragic, but also I imagine the whole time you were sitting out there with the toe, you're like, damn it, next time she gets me in that position, I know what I can do.
It definitely lit a fire. I was like, okay, that can't be like my one and done with sumo. I have to come back and redeem myself. But
yeah. No, I think that's awesome. Texas in general, as we talk about all the time, is the place to be for sumo, and specifically San Antonio is the number one place in the country to be as a lightweight women's wrestler.
Oh yes.
What is that like having multiple people in your weight class and like 2 or 3 others in the country that fight at your weight class regularly?
It's super cool. And they're so good. It's getting to train with lightweights like Jessica and Ketzel, it's unreal. I have to battle very hard at every practice, every week, even pull off a win every once in a while, And of course, Nicole is there, and Simone, not in my same weight class, but that's what makes it even better to go against them and just get really good training. So the female representation in San Antonio is amazing.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, that's the place to be. And I think you got how many black belts at Mighty Eagle? Because you got Jessica, I'm pretty sure, is the only female black belt in the country. But Tom, of course, Caleb. Isn't there another one that I haven't met?
Justin Ridling, I believe, is a black belt.
That's right. Yeah, we hadn't seen him wrestle recently, but I know he's still part of your club, right?
Yes, and that's all that I know of. But if I miss one, forgive me. I don't.
Yeah.
They're gonna find you in the dojo, be like, "You forgot me."
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would feel bad.
That's awesome. So yeah, what does a practice look like at Mighty Eagle when you got not just your weight class, but you guys have like as a full group, you got one of the bigger clubs. But what does a normal practice look like for you guys down there?
So it's very structured. In the first half, we always start with the Shikos, and of course, building up to the World Games, they've been increasing every week. So, the past few weeks we've started with like 80 or 90, and mostly like usually as many people there that can count to 10 in Japanese. That's the number that we'll pick. So it's been a good warm up, and then we'll just run through kind of various drills that I think Tom initially came up with. And forgive me, I haven't memorized all the Japanese terms, so I can't tell you.
You're a black belt in training. It's okay.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
You got to work on that vocab to get your belts, I know, but
yes.
But yeah, for now, priority is training up for the games.
Mm-hmm.
I can count to 10, so I mean, I can do something. But so it's structured up until that point. We kind of do those same drills over and over, but then we'll get into before we get into matches, we've been training specifically techniques in preparation for World Games. So we'll do specific pushing drills against each other. We had a practice with no mawashis. We've had a practice like specifically working on throws and arm bars. So we're kind of just picking one thing like that every week, and then we'll go into matches, and like the last 30-45 minutes we'll just do matches.
Yeah, you got who else from the club is qualified for the games? Is it just you and Ketzel?
It is, yeah. Of course, it was Simone as well, but she unfortunately tore her ACL.
And Nicole, did Nicole qualify?
Nicole's qualified as an alternate. Yeah.
Yeah, as an alternate. That's what I thought. I was like, wait a minute. I thought she was an alternate too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you got Eros from the other big Texas club representing Texas for the heavyweight women.
Yes.
And
that heavyweight category is stacked.
Yes.
So,
yeah. Not that we don't have solid teams on all of them, but yeah, women's heavyweight is a pretty intimidating division for us.
Totally.
100%. Yeah.
Oh well. But yeah, so to get on that team, just as a refresher here, we that was the tournament in Vegas. So how did that tournament go for you? I guess what is like your tournament history? Have you done a lot of them, or
that was my first tournament.
Oh, that was your first tournament.
Yeah, and it was up until the last minute that I decided to join in. And honestly, I'll be completely transparent. I was more interested in the trip to Vegas. My friends were going, and they're like, "Hey, like come to Vegas." And Caleb kept saying, "Hey, you're coming to Vegas with us. You might as well just compete." I mean, and I'm like, "What? How? I just started sumo. Like, I can't compete for a national." But I'm glad I did. I mean, obviously it was a lot of heavy competition for sure. But I mean, it went against like Logan, Ketzel, Liesel. I feel like there was one more. And
you actually they in the open you had to go up against Logan as well. I have the bracket in front of me.
Yes.
And yeah, if she hadn't pulled out with injury, she'd be another one to reckon with on the lightweight team.
Logan, yeah, she was. I mean, it was my first time meeting her as well, and she was. I mean, it was like running into a wall. I mean, she's super strong. So I was looking forward to. I mean, I know I'd probably not get to actually compete against her in Worlds, but I was looking forward to seeing her again. But one day. I'm sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so the that tournament you ended up qualifying with Ketzel from your team as well, and then Liesel was the alternate. So when Logan pulled out, Liesel is now on the team as well. So it's an all Texas division.
It's an all Texas team.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've talked to a number of people on the team, but you guys have just been keeping in touch with each other, right? Sharing tips, just hyping each other up.
Yes, definitely. There's like a World Games messaging thread, and so we hype each other up, and to ask each other about training and stuff like that. So it's been really good.
Cool.
It's like
Awesome.
I said, it's such a supportive community. I haven't seen that in any other martial art, especially like carrying, across cities and countries. Everyone just hypes each other up. It's really welcoming.
We always joke that it's too small to be pissy at each other, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Everyone gets along so well. It's really amazing.
Yeah, everybody's on the same team, and except for like the 5 seconds of the match,
Yeah.
and then we're buddies again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's really cool to see.
So yeah, we the Vegas tournament was your first official one, and then you did do another warm up tournament here in the lead up to the World Games. Tell us about the women's tournament.
I did wins. I was, I'm pretty competitive. I don't know if that came through at all, but I was
No, of course not.
Nope.
I was pretty disappointed. It was an interesting tournament. I know y'all watched it and y'all, had the episode on it, but all 5 of us were in a tie, so we had to redo the entire bracket, and I feel like I got way in my head, like I was exhausted, like having to do it the second time. So fortunately I didn't end up placing.
Only Elizabeth beats Elizabeth.
Right.
There you go.
Same story. Yeah. No, but I mean, no, these girls definitely beat me fair and square, and they're awesome. So I try not to be too hard on myself about it.
Yeah, including Ari, who
Yes.
I believe is not eligible, at least this time around, for the World Games.
Correct.
Just because she's a Japanese citizen. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's as I understand it. But I mean, she's so awesome to train with. I mean, she just yeah.
But yeah, no, that lightweight division was my favorite part of watching that tournament.
Everyone was on their game that day. I mean, it was a really good tournament.
Yeah. So it was you, Ketzel, Jessica Hopper making her return after maternity leave from the dojo. And then Ari and Liesl came up from Austin. Yep. But yeah, that was one of my favorite parts of the day, because it was just poetically ended up all 5 of you went 2-2.
That was really cool.
It was kind of exciting, but at the same time we were just like, we were all tired, and we were like, really, we have to do this.
One of you win, one of you lose. We don't care.
It was kind of disheartening, but yeah, it was a lot of good practice. So
yeah, bare minimum you get a few more reps, but that doesn't. Yeah, I get it though. You get to the end of it and you're like, oh, I made it, I finished. Oh no, I'm halfway through.
Yeah, it definitely got in my head a little bit about it. But
oh man,
out of curiosity, do you follow Pro Sumo as well?
So I would like to. I've told Caleb, I'm like, you need to have me over for a watch party, because I see the podcast on it. I see y'all talking about it. And honestly, it's probably the stupidest thing, but I have no idea how to watch it. Like, I'm like, do you have to find this online? I mean, isn't it like
at 3 in the
morning? Like, I don't, like, where do I find it? Unless you point me in exactly the right direction. I'm kind of clueless on that stuff. So.
We'll certainly hook you up. But there are some YouTube channels that I don't want to say like their names on air, because technically I don't think it's legal for them to broadcast.
we can, yeah.
But either way, we'll hook you up once you're because the next tournament actually starts the day after the World Games. So
Yep.
Oh, exciting.
So you'll have something to watch while you're hopefully taking a well-deserved break from
that would be awesome. It'll hype me up for the next tournament.
Oh yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, and Caleb is one of the best guys to watch and talk about professional sumo with. So
Caleb, you're failing, dude. You're failing, man.
Oh well. But yeah, so tell us a little bit about how like the procedure of the World Games is going to go. Like, when are you guys going down there? Like, what do you know so far about like the structure of the tournament itself?
It's kind of it's interesting, because it's one of those things you kind of would think you'd have a lot more information by this point. Not to, I mean, but seriously, I mean, there's a lot we don't know yet, like where we're staying, but I mean, I know personally I'm getting there the 6th and staying until the 11th, because weigh-ins are pretty early on the 7th, and then that night is the opening ceremonies. So that I do know.
Yeah.
And,
That's something
and
anyway.
for reference, again, we're recording this more than a week out, but
I'm sure we'll have a lot more information.
by the time this comes out and you're already like almost getting on the plane, I really hope that we know a little more.
Fingers crossed at that point.
I think they've told us there's like a shuttle going back and forth, and it's funny because we don't know specifically like roommate assignments or anything like that yet, but they released the food truck schedule like a month ago. So it's like priorities, right? Like, so at least I know what kind of food's going to be on campus.
You may not know where you're going to be staying or who you're going to be staying with, but here's what you can eat.
Yeah. So, I mean,
and everybody's like, oh, okay, everything else will be
fine. We're fine.
Yeah, we know the food, so we're good. No, but it's super exciting. It's hard to know what to expect when you've never been through something like that. But I know that the Federation has a ton of different sports and athletes and, entertainers to organize and everything like that. So I'm sure it's pretty chaotic. Yeah.
It's a big event, and I know the U.S. has to deliver on our home turf here.
Oh yes.
All the pressure's on us to organize it well, and we got a lot of athletes on the teams, especially for sumo. We got some real good chances at medals. So which one are you bringing home? Gold, silver, bronze?
Obviously I'm going for gold. I'm not like,
Love it.
Good. No waffling.
Yeah.
That was determination.
I'm going for gold. Yeah. And, I'll be okay with silver or bronze, but
No. If you're not first, you're last. You got to remember that mentality from Ricky Bobby. If you're not first, you're last.
Yeah.
I do remember hearing that in a NASCAR documentary I watched once. Yeah. But yeah, so the information I found online, it looks like you guys are doing like your weight classes will be on Saturday the 9th.
Yes.
They'll go through the weight classes, and then at least the online schedule says an open weight the next day too, right?
Yes, and that actually, from what I've heard, was like the first event to sell out. So, which is kind of exciting. A lot of people really want to see open weight sumo. Cool.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. I just hope that they don't. I hope that they mix up the countries a lot. Like I know it's open weight is more like casual, but I think it'd be a bummer if like U.S. lightweights got matched up against U.S. heavyweights or something.
I know that's my only concern for that.
Has that happened before?
I honestly I don't know. This is the first time we've gone through, or the first time that the World Games has happened since we've been fans too. So
yeah, I'm curious about that too. So hopefully it's.
I guess
if there is, we will launch a formal protest.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's like I get out there and I'm immediately matched with Eros. I'm not going to be like,
well,
sorry, Eros. Oh, well, you have your shot.
I'm taking the crown. It's mine.
Oh, man. Well, hey, you also mentioned Kung Fu earlier as like your other combat sport that you'd kind of tried out. I'm just curious because one of our more recent ones, we talked to some guys that are coming from Sambo and, the kickboxing and some other stuff. What did you learn in Kung Fu that helps you with sumo, or is there anything that transfers, or how does that work?
Definitely. Yeah, it's I definitely credit my, Kung Fu background to even getting as far as I have. A lot of it is going to be in like my root, like the stance, just
footwork.
Yeah, like and just being able to be heavy, because especially going against someone like Jessica, who has just like an incredible like rooted to the ground, that my training and that helps me to, go against that. And then, I knew a lot of throws and arm bars and stuff like that from Kung Fu. I kind of thought that would translate a little bit more, but sumo is so fast paced. I haven't really had a good opportunity to employ like too much like arm bars and stuff like that, although I would certainly love to.
You haven't employed it yet.
Right.
Yeah. That would be really cool. I get to the World Games and I'd like just totally take someone like to the ground with an arm bar or like a leg sweep or something like that. But definitely those things translate a little bit.
Yeah, you're not starting completely from scratch or anything like that, right?
Not completely, yeah.
I imagine just in general, like physical fitness, like, in general is probably good for all sports, right?
In general, yeah, it helps for sure. But there's like a Tai Chi exercise we did a lot that's called push hands, where you like you and your opponent are both rooted and you just try and like push each other over without moving your feet at all. And I did that for years, and I think that helped a lot as well. Just really focusing on finding your opponent's center.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So the other burning question that I had here was I need to know more about because I found you through Instagram here.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit more about this adorable little thing that's in all of your pictures.
This
on
photogenic gentleman.
Oh my God, he's so cute.
He's the best. Yeah, that's so my son, Archer, my first. He just turned 16 months. So I did take a little break from sumo and competing in general as well. Just while I had him, but I got back in as soon as I could, and he trains with me. We're up here in my little my little training area upstairs, and he kind of like hits my bag, and it's while I'm like working.
Excellent. Future Yokozuna, love it.
Yeah.
I'm starting him young. I'll be
yes.
Yeah.
How's his Shiko form?
Oh, I mean, it's terrible right now, but he's working on it. We both are. I mean, we're probably pretty close, neck and neck.
Yeah. No, that's funny. But yeah, so if anybody wants to reach out to you, find out more about you as a sumo wrestler or as a mother to an adorable little kid, where can they find you?
Yeah, so like you guys found me on my Instagram. It's Elizabeth.Salazar, but the E's are 3s. If that makes sense.
It makes sense because I'm
yep,
looking
I get
at it. But yeah, no, I get it. Yeah.
So kind of easy to remember. And then of course, occasionally I'm featured getting my butt kicked on Mighty Eagle Sumo, and even if you're not there to see that, everyone listening should check out the club's Instagram.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they some of the most regular the club tradition in sumo, of course, is big serious tough guy picture after Keiko,
Yeah.
followed by total doofus picture, everybody messing around, right?
Yes.
Did you guys start that? Is Mighty Eagle where that came from?
I think so. I think there's been a little back and forth between us starting it and Dark Circle, but I've heard we started it, so I'm just gonna go with that. Been doing it as long as I can remember, as long as I've been training there.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I love that because of everybody I've talked to at your camp and just getting to know the guys out there. It's an excellent little microcosm of the kind of athletes that you guys are. It's
absolutely.
Yeah, it's fun.
But yeah, Elizabeth Salazar, lightweight World Games qualifier out of Mighty Eagle Sumo in San Antonio. Thank you so much for joining us, and good luck getting that. What color medal at the World Games?
Gold. We're going for gold.
All right.
Thank you guys for having me. I feel special.
Jake, she thinks it's special to be on the show.
I mean, we're the ones who get to talk to world level athletes in sumo wrestling. So
yes.
I mean, we feel kind of cool too, but you're right. It is a big honor to be on our show of all shows, right?
Jake, that lightning bolt's going to get us eventually. They're going to find out we're frauds.
That's my weakness is any tiny amount of flattery for our podcast being even passable. It's my weakness.
Your dogs are super cute.
Stop. No, I'm too weak. Oh man, thanks for joining us. Good luck in I guess from now it's a couple weeks, but from the time we release this, it'll be just a couple days.
Oh my god.
Good luck.
Till the big day.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll see you soon. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Thank you for listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown. Until next time,
Throw your salt high.
and keep moving forward.